guess, how do you assess that one overall?
There's some good parts of the game and some not so good parts. I mean, we were able to keep pressure nice and high. We got the ball back a lot. We got a lot of opportunities, but wasted far too many of them. I thought our cleanliness and ball handling and efficiency in front of goal is the obvious one. So there was lots of scores left out there, but also we probably gave up too many inside 50s and gave up a bigger score than we would like to. So still work in progress.
You noted that the team song was pretty flat back in the round. Is this the kind of game you drop pretty quickly and move on from? Were you quite pleased with how the score would really extended over the game?
I mean, our scoreboard kept ticking along, but so did theirs. It's probably a little bit disappointed they were able to get some goals late. We think they had 50 inside 50s, and we've been quite good at keeping that low. So, the fizz went out of the game in different stages, and we've been up for a while, and it was one of those games that we did what we had to do. But I don't think too many people are going to be turning on the replay for that one and rewatching it. Although coaches will certainly do some learning and the players will, but from a fan's point of view, we'd like to have played better for everyone else and the people that put our colours on and come out. So next week we have our 100-year celebration against the Tigers, and we will be very, very focused on putting together a four-quarter performance that we could be more proud. Not to say that we weren't proud of today. We won. That was a good game, but we've got bigger things in front of us, we hope, as far as the way we perform.
How did you see the Oscar Allen match-up? It felt like one was quite influential.
Yeah, I thought Mabior played really well. I mean, Mabior's had a big start to the year. He's been basically our only tall forward, and he had a couple of quiet games. And there was a bit of scrutiny on him, and I was really confident. And Adrian Hickmott, I think, is doing a really good job working with him, and he's having a big impact for us. And in playing, I think Jack Gunston obviously plays a slightly different role as a different sort of tall, but I think Mabior's form has been really good the last 2 weeks in particular, and a reward for effort. So sometimes I know he can look laconic, and he doesn't, but if you look at his, he's one of those players, when you re-watch him, he looks better and better as a coach. So he's chasing and his pressure and all those things, as well as the goals. So I'm pleased he's getting a bit of reward for effort on the scoreboard.
What did you make of the Oscar Allen move to defence?
Oh, that's not my team, so I'm not sure. I mean, the challenge probably that Mitty's got is that he's got a lot of talent all in tools. So being able to move them, I think they've got a couple of really good marking options in front of the ball. I think Reed's going to be a really good player in particular, and so moving Oscar to make sure he can keep all his young talent on the field made a bit of sense for us, and we obviously were a little bit shocked by it. We only knew about it in the warm-up, so when he started warming up with the defenders, we realised that would probably happen and had to shuffle a couple of things, but thought we handled it pretty well.
Given the circumstances, are you disappointed not to see him play up forward?
No. I mean, very much focused on Hawthorn and our season. I won't be looking at what the opposition do. That's up to them. We don't play West Coast again, so not too concerned about the way they line up.
Why did you set Topper up to full forward in the final quarter?
A couple of reasons. I think sometimes having that flexibility is important for us. We like to be able to do that. We obviously do it with James Sicily, and giving Blake Hardwick continued exposure as a defender. He's obviously played well over 100 games as a defender for us, and we haven't used him there that much, so we want to make sure that Blake stays behind the ball at different stages. And TB we haven't tried forward, but if we need a contest in front of the ball at some stage, then having him go forward is something that we want to be able to have the option if it's viable for us. He didn't look completely comfortable there, so it's something we're going to have to try to expose him to a little bit more over the coming weeks if we get the opportunity.
Do you know, that looked a little funny against his former side in the final quarter when he's in control that he's gone into attack?
Oh yeah, I get that it might have, but if it was another game, we haven't had a game this year that's felt comfortable at all. All of our games have been quite close late in games, so I'm going to definitely try TB forward at different stages to see if he can be. He's obviously a beautiful mark, reads the ball fantastically well, and we've got a couple of options. We haven't moved Josh Battle forward yet, but he's another one that I want to try and explore moving him forward. And his form today, obviously, he was fantastic. So having older players who are more established and got a bit of flexibility in their game, getting them into different positions is a part of our priorities. And didn't work quite as well tonight as we hope, but we'll continue to work on those things.
Was there any part of you though that wanted to see him go against his former side?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, I think he's kicked one goal in his career. It was from a 50-metre penalty. So to get him to kick one would be great. But I would like him to have almost every player that's played sort of 100 games plus. You want them to have a couple of positions. And TB as a full back, it's very difficult for him to go anywhere else if he hasn't been exposed to it. And we've used it. We really held off on it with James Sicily for probably 18 months. But now he's been able to go forward at different stages and really win us a game. And I would like, if Sis is playing really well behind the ball, I'd like to be able to move someone else. We've got Josh Weddle up our sleeve. We haven't used Josh Battle yet. And TB, I think he's going to be a viable forward for us in time.
Jack Scrimshaw, just concerned how you over that, a couple of concussions this year already.
I mean, concussion is obviously a growing risk in our game, and it's not ideal. Not ideal for Jack, and Carl Lamon's got concussion as well. So we've got two of our defenders who've got concussions, and they'll obviously be out for next week. And from a selection point of view, that creates opportunity. We had a really good win at Box Hill today, which was fantastic, and Zane Littlejohn's doing a really good job with those guys. And I feel like we've got some players who are ready. And our injury list has been quite strong, but our depth is, going to start to get challenged now. And we saw Henry Huswaite come in today and do a really good job. I was rapt for him, to be honest, because he really deserved his opportunity. He got it and he took it. So that's a win, and it gives confidence to the other guys that are going to come in for next week. But as far as those two guys with concussion, you let them go through the medical process, and you make sure that they've got all the support around them to make sure they can recover well.
How is Jack? Because it can be pretty deflating, obviously, you have the suspension, and then concussion, gets back a couple of weeks, and then again, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm really honest, I didn't quiz him too much. Obviously, when players have concussion, you try to give them a fair bit of space and don't challenge their cognition too much. I think that's part of the challenges. Everyone wants to talk to them about it, and that's not great for their cognition in that first moment. So, I think we handle it quite well. Our doctors really helped educate everyone around the football club about how best to treat people with concussion. And one of the things you don't do is ask them how they're feeling. So, we let him have his time and settle, and hopefully it's just the minimum, but we respect these things enormously.
When did that come up with Carl Amon? Was that late in the game, or was it delayed from the hit earlier in the game?
No, I believe I think it was the start of last quarter. So he came, but he was very mature about it. So he sort of came off and said, "I'm not feeling great. I think I just had a hit over there, and I'm not sure." And then came off, and he failed his test pretty quickly. So we were down to 3 on the bench late for pretty much the whole last quarter. So Carl, he's played a lot of games in a row. Has hardly missed since he's been with us. So that's a bit disappointing for us, as well as Jack. But this is a risky game that we play, and they both put their head over it when they need to, and creates opportunity for others.
You touched on Henry Huswaite, Jack Innigan and Bailey McDonald were the other two that came into the side this week. How do you assess their performance?
It's a bit early. I haven't, obviously, especially the last half I watched from the sideline, so it's quite difficult to see how everyone plays. But it felt like we had winners in a lot of areas of the ground. We just couldn't capitalise on a lot of what we did. I thought I thought Guinea looked back to his sort of vibrant best. I saw him do a goal celebration, and I haven't probably seen that for a little while. So those little things, I think there was a bit of energy around him. And Bailey, everyone loves playing footy with him. There was nothing surer than him getting a chance to have a running bounce, because he's sort of got that leg speed and that style of play. So as soon as I saw him do that, I think, okay, he's starting to look comfortable at level. Only his third game, so getting exposure for young guys like him is exciting for us.
We'll just take one more, guys. First time in a long time, I think you've rolled out of midfield that hasn't had Will Day or Connor Nash. Do you feel like you have the physicality that you wanted in there? How do you sort of see that midfield balance today?
Yeah, I mean, I think every club you don't want your reliable best players out of the side, but there is a part of you that likes the opportunity, and for Henry to get his opportunity and to take it, but also for Cam McKenzie and Josh Ward to get a bit more exposure. Nick Watson went into a couple of centre bounces today, so they're sort of things that we're working on in the background, and parts of our game that we think in the future might be viable for us. And the midfield, I didn't think we were consistently strong in there throughout the day. I thought we had periods where we looked quite good, and periods where they were on top, and a lot of the game was dictated by the midfield battle today. So we got some work to do without Will and Connor for a period longer. But as I said, squad gets challenged for depth, and this is our time for that. And hopefully we can continue to stand up. And if Henry's anything to go by, then we should be okay. Thanks, guys.